Hello. This lesson is about what determines economic growth. So, how would an economy grow, or how could a country increase its output of goods and services? What determines economic growth? As you know, production depends on the factors of production, or the inputs. So what are the inputs? Natural resources, human resources, capital. But here, instead of entrepreneurship, it's innovation and discoveries. Inventions, and innovations. So those are the main determinants of economic growth. A country needs plenty of natural resources in order to be able to increase its production. Natural resources such as metals, oil, land, fish, forests, so on and so forth. What happens if a country does not have plenty of natural resources, such as Japan? Does this mean that Japan cannot have a high economic growth rate? No, it can. It can substitute the lack of natural resources by the presence of other determinants of economic growth. Human resources. Human resources is the labor force that we talked about when we defined unemployment. The labor force is very important because if we do not have enough labor, then there will be no production. But at the same time, it's not only the number of workers we have, it is the skills and knowledge. Skills and knowledge of workers. So the skills and knowledge of workers is called human capital. Human capital. This is more important than the number of workers. We can have unskilled labor who can do simple tasks but cannot increase production significantly. But we need skilled and knowledgeable workers, that is good human capital, to be able to increase our production. As we know, the labor force or the workers have working days and working weeks, working hours. If we multiply the number of the labor force times the working week or working hours, we have the labor input. So labor input is the amount of working hours of workers during a week. When an economy is growing fast, it can decrease the number of working hours per worker. And when the labor force is large, they can decrease the number of working hours for workers. That's why we hear about countries such as Japan and China reducing the number of working hours per worker, yet the people want to work more. Capital. Capital is the machinery, equipment used in production. We know that since the Industrial Revolution, the introduction of machinery has facilitated production. It made it easier. So the more capital a country is capable of having, the more growth it can achieve. Besides, the ratio between capital and workers is called labor capital ratio. If each worker has higher levels of capital. This is called capital deepening. Capital deepening. It is having more capital per worker. So each worker has equipment and machinery that can help him or her produce more. Capital deepening automatically leads to economic growth. Finally, discoveries, which are inventions or innovations. What's the difference between invention and innovation? Invention is a new method of production or a new product introduced in the market. Innovation is changing the methods, the existing methods of production to become more efficient or effective. All those factors contribute to the economic growth of the economy. This is it. And bye-bye.